China is facing an avalanche of challenges: a tariff war with Washington, curbs on access to Western technology, a shrinking and aging workforce, the rising cost of Beijing's anti-COVID strategy, and debt that Chinese leaders worry is dangerously high. Among them, the pandemic and the zero-COVID policy that comes with it have had the biggest impact on She's business, whose revenue relies heavily on providing planned rental services to offices and large venues. Nearly 3 years into the pandemic, China remains one of the few countries that stick to a zero-COVID strategy. It resorts to frequent lockdowns, mass testing, and extensive contact tracing to curb the spread of the coronavirus whenever a positive case is detected. Economic growth slid to 2.2% over a year earlier. In the first 6 months of 2022, less than half the official target, sapped by a crackdown on debt in China's vast real estate industry and repeated shutdowns of major cities to fight virus outbreaks. There are expectations among the public that the Party Congress will set off the process of gradual reopening. But state media, including the People's Daily, published op-ed pieces backing the zero-COVID strategy just days before the meeting, putting in doubt if Beijing will ease the restrictions anytime soon.
Top layer, or the most obvious, is the impact of zero COVID policies and the impact of COVID restrictions, which when you restrict people's ability to leave their homes, to move around the country, to travel, engage in basic commerce, that obviously has an impact on the business environment, obviously has an impact on consumer spending. And that has had an immediate impact on employment. The foundations of China's economic growth are not in the same place as they were. And it is harder for Beijing to counter the slowdown that's underway in both the property market and local government investment. So I think it's still underappreciated in the rest of the world that this is not an economy that's going to be rebounding back to the same rates of growth anytime